All right, we're gonna get started with our training. Normally these are done at libraries, but due to COVID-19, the coronavirus, we decided to do the presentation online, and our providers who didn't get a chance to come to training for those training that we have scheduled, they've all been canceled. So this will be the way of having you complete it. Is you'd watch the video, you should have received your packet, and in your packet, I want to go over what's in your packet first. You'll have a copy of the slide presentation. You will also have a copy of the food chart. You'll have one for the older kids, 1 and older, and then you have one for the infants. You would also have them on a Sesame Street card. This one, small one. These are really handy to have on your fridge. If you don't want the whole food chart display right there, then you can have this one. It's kind of cute with Elmo. And these are the ones for the infant meal pattern, okay? You will also have instructions that would have let you, given you the link to get on this training. You would also have instructions for the quiz that you would have to complete in order to get a certificate and marked as attending training for 2020. Okay, so I will go ahead and start, so bear with me. This is our first try on this online training. So if you have questions, you are more than welcome to ask us, okay? So I'll go ahead and get started with our training. On the first slide, you will have, and don't mind me looking because I am looking at the slideshow to the side if you see me looking down. On the first slide, you will see all our staff on there. Debbie's our director. I as the program manager, and I'm Doris. And we have Chelsea as our front desk coordinator, and then we have 5 monitors. We have Anita, who speaks Spanish. We have Brianna, our English speaking monitor. And then we have Litia, who speaks Tongan and English. And then we have Tuan, who speaks Vietnamese and English. And we have Alici, who speaks Tongan and English as well. So those are our monitor. If you probably can't see because it's small on your little slide, but it has everyone's email. But if you go on our website at cmautah.net, you'll be able to see cmautah.org. You'll see all our staff and email. If you are calling our office, you're able to select by their name, and it will direct you to their phone to leave a message, okay? So that's our staff. And then our training is 3 different parts. I will cover a quick reference first, and then we will have a short training for civil rights. And then we will have the food chart, and the meal pattern is the focus of this training. Okay, so we'll start with quick reference. So quick reference, we will be covering a few things. So first up is late claims. We have mailed out the little due calendar for claims, the dates that are due for each month, and the last day of accepting late claims. Claim is due on the 4th business day of every month, not counting weekends or holidays. So for example, for March claim from last month, it is due Monday, April 6th. And if your claim is late, you have until May 20th to turn in a late claim for us to accept, okay? Also, we have always said claim is due on the 4th business day by 4:30. We decided to extend it to when our office opened at 9 a.m. on the next business day after the 4th business day. Whatever we have in our Dropbox and submitted online is what we're gonna process. So this is kind of like a little leeway because we're having a lot of problem with late claims. And The only explanation that we can come up with is that providers are not doing their records daily, which you're required to. So we're going to not accept any late claim starting with May claims, okay? And there'll be no exceptions. We're trying to get everybody, so we have a deadline to the state. We have to have everything processed. So when we received your claim, we have to wait for all the, for the deadline. If we say Monday, Chelsea will receive all those. She has to go through all the claims and make sure that they're scanned correctly, that they're even bubbled correctly. Sometimes they're not correct. She'll call you to come and fix it. All the renewals has to be entered before these claims are processed. So once they are processed, and then we go through all these claims to make sure that they have been processed correctly, because we want to get these all done and all the numbers match and upload it to the state. So that way they can approve it and submit it for their own deadline to the feds so they can get the money, and then we'll get the money for when it's time for us to deposit your check to your account or mail out a check for those who haven't turned in a bank account. Okay, so that's why it is critical. Like if somebody turned in a claim late and we're having to accept it, I'm almost done processing claim, I'm having to rematch up all the numbers, reprint a whole new report. So we decided we're just gonna stick to 9 a.m. on a 5th business day. That's it, no exception. Okay, and it's plenty of time for everybody. Sometimes it's more than 5 days because first falls on a weekend or there's a holiday on Monday, so you have way extra time to have that to us on time. Okay, next one is our office hours. Our business hours normally is from 9 to 4:30 Monday to Friday. Due to the coronavirus right now, we are closed to the public and only I'll answer phone calls and reply electronically to providers. So if you need anything, call us, leave us a message, email us, message us on Facebook. We have access to all that. We're very fortunate for all these ways of communication that we can have. You can still continue to mail in your renewal to us, your claim. If you are doing it on paper, you can mail those, drop it off in our drop box outside at the front. Otherwise, everything is still normal. It's just that we're trying to help and abide by what our governor has asked of us, that we can't service you in person. Okay. Our office closed on holidays. We are never closed during claim time. So someone will always be there when our office is normally open. There will always be somebody there. Chelsea, our front desk coordinator, is part-time. She works from Monday to Thursday. She works on the first Friday of the month if it's during claim. She is off a whole week on the 3rd week. Usually the 3rd week of the month, Chelsea's off because she's part-time. So Debbie and I go out sometimes. We have meetings, we have trainings. We go out and help our monitor. We also go out with our monitor as part of our job to ensure quality with reviews and the providers in the daycare homes. So that kind of leaves us those time, but we always notify. So always call our office, leave us a message, and check to make sure that other days that you want to come into the office that we're not busy, that somebody is there. Otherwise, you can call us, email us. You can take a picture of things and turn it into us. The only thing you can't take a picture of, like I had mentioned on our Facebook live a few days ago, is the claim, the bubble form claim, and the bubble form enrollment, because those need to be scanned in. Okay. Let's see. Holidays. 4 holidays that providers can't claim are New Year's, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Easter Sunday. So those are the 4 holidays that providers cannot claim. If you have any questions or explanation, you'll have to talk to us before you can claim those days. Otherwise, you can continue to market that you have kids there. You'll see that you'll get disallowed for those holidays. Okay. If you are closed for the other holidays, you make sure you let us know. If you're wanting to open, the same thing, you have to let us know. You'll see on the little survey, the little quiz that you have to complete, it will allow you to mark all of the holidays that you'll be open for, that are not including the 4 holidays that you can't claim. Okay, for relative care providers, I wanted to go over with renewals, okay? So you should know by now that you don't have to go get fingerprinted every year or pay for background check every year. So we mail out your renewal 30 days in advance. You are to complete front and back, list everybody 12 and older that are living in your household at the back, their birthdays and their age, okay? When we receive those, we look to make sure that that match what we have on the licensing website under your facility. If you're listing people there that are not on licensing, we would call you and say, okay, so-and-so need to be registered. They need to get background check or fingerprint or fingerprinted. Also, they need to get picture ID to us and complete the child registry form, okay? So anybody that turns 12 living in your household will need to be registered and pay a background check fee of $18. When somebody turns 18 or move into your home that are 18 and older, they must be registered under your facility and licensing. If they are not registered, they have to be registered. Once they are registered, then they need to get fingerprinted. Okay, we have all the resources. I can send you an email, or it's already listed on your renewal paper that goes out as the steps to complete that. You get fingerprinted, and also ask you to fill out the DCFS form and submit a picture ID. Okay. Other than that, if it's the same people, you fill out the paper, return it to us. We cannot renew your relative care license without that form, because that's how it helps us track if everybody that are in your home are reported correctly to licensing. That's it for relative care. I just wanted to touch on that for relative care provider to make sure that they understand, because we're still getting people wanting to do fingerprint, or again, you don't have to do it every year, which is great. Claim summary and error report. Okay, monthly, for those of you that are doing claim on paper, we mail out your claim summary and error reports. Those that are doing it online, you have access online to look at your errors. If you don't know how, then you need to be in touch with your monitor, call our office, and we will help you have access to that. The reason why we want you to look at your error report, because we want to make sure that we're paying you correctly. On your error report, it will explain what you had submitted to us, the meals and days and kids that you claim, and then your report show what was paid and what was not paid. Okay, some you'll see there was no errors, some you'll see lots of errors. Okay, so you will have in your packet a copy of your own error report. If you're seeing these errors on your report and you're not understanding, call us. Sometimes it just takes one phone call for us to help you fix those. Okay, how to fix the error report, I just told you. You'll have to call us so we can go over it with you. It's like case by provider. How far back can errors be fixed? We go back 60 days if they are eligible errors that can be fixed. Sometimes these errors is because we didn't receive the information on time, the kid was not there, then we would have to fix the information to match what we have on the computer, and then you start that day or that month. So you just have to ask us, and then we'll tell you if these are errors that we can go back and fix. For example, if you have a child that you finally get the enrollment completed, but you have been watching the child the month before, and you didn't record the child in your claim, but you already submitted and got paid for it, you then can start claiming the child this month moving forward. We cannot go back and undo a claim just so we can add the child again. Okay? So just check with us and we'll make sure if that claim can be reprocessed or not. But it is important to look at your error report. Okay? What should be posted or displayed at your daycare home? 3 key things. Okay? 1 is your Building for the Future. This is your civil rights poster. These were the ones that we made for everybody that you were supposed to have it at your home. Some people put it on their fridge. Some people would put it in a frame and put it by the door, wherever you have, but it needs to be displayed. On your slide, you will see a copy of the new Building for the Future. So if you no longer have a Building for the Future and you're asking for a new one, which you should, if you don't have one, display at your daycare home, then you will be getting a new one. But it will say Building for the Future. It has little pictures of family holding hands on it. You should also have your daily menu posted. Some have a week menu, some have a month menu. You are required to have, just the day off is what's required. You're also required to have your WIC flyer displayed at your daycare. So those are mailed out to you yearly because it needs to be current. It has all the location for the WIC office for parents to go to and apply for WIC. And it also has the income cutoff so parents can kind of tell if they qualify or not before going in to apply. Okay, so those, we mail it out every year. It has the date at the bottom so I know if it's the correct one or an old one that needs to be replaced. So if you do not have one, check your mail. I'm still seeing providers in the home not opening the mail and not pulling out these and displaying it. If you do not display the WIC flyer in your home, you must have made copies and send them out to your parents of all the kids that are in your daycare. But it is safe to just display it in your home. Make sure you talk to the parents about it. Okay. KidCare updates for those that are using KidCare, also for those that are not. So we are, as a sponsor, we use Minute Menu software to process claims, submit claims, and also for our finance end of things. So this year, KidCare, Minute Menu, when I talk about KidCare, I'm talking about Minute Menu as well. They have raised their price. Okay, it used to be $3 for them for us to process and submit a claim through Minute Menu. They have made a couple of announcements. One, they have raised their price to double, almost triple of what they normally charge us. Okay, actually it's triple or more, $10. They are no longer, they will be doing away with the bubble form for those of you that are using it on paper. So bubble form, if Minute Menu stop offering the options to use the bubble form so we can scan for those that are using it on paper, CMA will create a form for you to use. So don't panic right now if you don't have access to Wi-Fi or electronic device to switch to online. We were hoping, just to get everybody there because it is cheaper if we stay with Minute Menu, because before they only charge us for those that were logging their claim online and submitting claim online. Right now, they're charging for everyone. And for those that are doing bubble form, not only that we have to pay for you to process your claim through Minute Menu, we're also having to pay for the bubble form that you're using. Hence why we only give out 5 at a time bubble form. But don't panic. Still continue to ask for your bubble form. But I would recommend these are our recommendation. If you are a group home or have 12 kids or more or live way far from our office, I would recommend switching to online. I'd be more than happy to make the drive out to your home. One of us will come out there and train you. You can call us anytime. The good thing about Minute Menu is that they also have a customer service that you can call, and they'll be able to help you if you can't get a hold of us, or if it's something that we can't answer for you. Let's see. Okay, and then there was the talk of us switching to a different software. The most important thing is that for the provider to know, we are staying with Minute Menu Kid Care for now. Okay, for the rest of the year, we're staying with them. If we switch, okay, we're still out there marketing for one. If we do switch, we will notify all our providers. We will give plenty of time for our staff to learn it, and plenty of time for us to train our providers before we switch. But for right now, you wait until you hear from us, which we don't have a date as far as switching. Right now, we're staying Minute Menu Kid Care, so we're just gonna stick with that for now. I think our next announcement will be at the next training, if any changes as far as that. Okay? Okay. Okay, for the civil rights training. Okay, so you'll have the civil rights training in your packet as well. I'm not gonna go over everything. I would recommend that you go through all the activities that was created after the little short training or short slides on, since you're getting it on paper. Because we are a food program that it is funded by federal dollars. We then have to adhere to the civil rights requirements. Let's see. That is why you are required to have your civil rights poster displayed at your home. That's one of the requirements. It talks about basically civil rights is that there's no discrimination, okay? And there are six protected classes, okay, that you need to be aware of always. Race, color, national of origin, age, sex, and disability. Those are the 6 protected classes that you cannot discriminate because of those, okay? If you notice on the activities, you'll notice that there's different ideas and scenario where if it's religion, it doesn't affect, it's not discriminating because religion is not part of the 6 protected classes. If it's parents' preference, that has nothing to do with discriminating. If you have situation at your daycare and you're not sure how to handle it, call us, and if we can't help you, we will certainly get the state to get more information to help you with those. But basically, you can't turn away children from your daycare because of those 6 protected classes. And this applies to all daycare home providers, whether you are licensed or relative care provider. Okay. How to report a discrimination complaint. If the parents feels like they've been discriminated against, you can ask them to write down and give you a document on paper. However, they don't have to write one. If they tell you, you'll have to report it, and we will then have to report it as well to the state. Let's see. An individual has 180 days to file the alleged discrimination complaint. So it's 180 days. If somebody has that complaint, they have that long to file that complaint. So if, and this also applies to us as a sponsor as well. If you feel like you are not being treated fairly and it falls under those 6 protected classes, you are certainly welcome to file a complaint, and you have 180 days to file that complaint. And we as a sponsor will make sure that we see it through, that it goes through all the steps correctly. Okay. Okay. Disabilities is one of the protected classes. Okay. For those that has disabilities, they must have a doctor's note specifically specify their diagnosis on their doctor's note. The good thing about those as well, if they turn 13, which is the age that the kids come off this food program, they get to stay on the food program. Or elderly that are disabled, they get to be on the program as well. So if you have questions on that, we're more than welcome to answer that as well. Then you have some exercises that you'll go through. I would recommend going through, since I can't ask you a question and you can answer me back, I will just let you read through that part, okay? Okay, so then now I'm gonna move on to the last part of the training, which is the food charts that you are getting, one for the infant and one for the older ones. They're both laminated nicely for you. These are probably the most important documents that you need to keep as a daycare provider that's on the food program. It has all the rules and guidelines on what to serve, how to prepare it, and how much you should be serving to these kids based on their age and what meals you are serving. Okay, so go over real quick with infant. A few things that I want to point out with infant. You have, it is new now. It used to be 3 different columns. They broke it down to just 2 now. So 0 to 5 months, you are required to serve breast milk or formula. It does not require solid. If you serve solid that early, that it's okay, but it's not a requirement. Those that are infant, you are not required to serve them. Actually, you are not allowed to serve juice to infant that are under 1. They can stay on formula after they turn 1 for 2 months, until some wants to just use up all the formula, or you're slowly moving over from formula or breast milk to cow's milk. So giving them time to, you know, go through the process of transitioning over to cow's milk. Okay, and let's see, other things. I mean, all these things, that requirements that you need to know about what and how to serve infant, it's all on your food chart. So you would have the front of the food chart, and you have the details also written out at the back. I want to talk about breast milk and how to handle breast milk. When parents bring breast milk to you as a provider, or your workers, you should train them that these must be labeled with the child's full name, because you could have 2 Johns infant. So make sure you write the child's full name and the date that you received that from the mom. Store them properly in your fridge until it's time to serve it to them. When you're ready to serve, you must not put it in the microwave. It can be served cold, or it can be warmed with putting the bottle of breast milk inside a bowl of warm water to warm down the milk. Can you mix fresh milk that mom just gave you with the old one that are in the fridge? Yes, you can. You just have to wait for the breast milk that are fresh to cool down because they are warm, and then you mix them. You never shake the baby's milk. you always just twirl it, okay? So those are just some tips that I wanted to point out. Mom, of course, can take break when, I know with new infant, moms still want to come and breastfeed in the home, which they are more than welcome to, and provider can still claim those meals. If, let's say, for example, that you offer Similac for your daycare, and mom said, no, I want my child to have Enfamil, because the formula that you offer meets the requirements, mom can then bring the Enfamil and you serve it to the infant, and you still get reimbursed for the meal. So there's a lot of leeway with infants. Okay, solid. When they are 5 months and older, it's recommended that solid food is introduced then. Providers are required to get permission from parents before offering solid to the infant. So you're not just, here you go, eat some, okay? Ready to eat cereal that are approved can be served to infant that for snacks only, okay? All right, so I want to move on to children meal pattern or food chart. You have breakfast, you have lunch and dinner, and you have snacks. Breakfast, you're required to serve milk. So meals, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, milk is always required. You cannot substitute that unless you have a doctor's note for a child that cannot have milk or needs specific milk, okay? Breakfast, you're required to have milk, grain, vegetable, or fruit. So 3 component required for breakfast. 3 times a week, you can replace the grain with protein. So if you want to do eggs with strawberry and milk, that's a complete meal, but you can only do that 3 times a week. Lunch and dinner, you're required to serve all 5 of the components, which is milk, your protein or your meat, your grain, vegetable, and your fruit. And all the serving sizes by age is on your food chart. That's why you have your food chart, so you'll know how much you should be giving your 3-year-old and how much you should be giving your 12-year-old, how much you should be giving your 2-year-old. It also states the milk that you're supposed to be serving to the kids according to their age. Snacks, any 2 of the components, so you can mix and match. You can do, milk with fruit or protein and a veggie. However you want to mix it up, 2 components only is required. Let's see. So if you have any questions on your food chart, I would recommend that you talk to your monitor when they're in your home. If the monitor is there and they see something's wrong, I hope that they address it with you. If they address something with you as it was a finding or you didn't meet the requirements, you're not getting written up. They have to document it, what they see when they're there at review. They have to document it, and they have to see what can be done to fix that so it's not happening. As you all know, monitors only come 3 times a year, 2 unannounced and 1 announced. And 3 times a year, that's not enough for us to be able to monitor what providers are doing daily. But we also like to train our providers and make sure that they are knowledgeable and resourceful, as well as us to you if you have questions or you need help understanding the program better. Okay, so lastly, I created a few steps just to kind of it's more like a self-check. Normally at training, this will be open discussions with everyone, but since I'm just talking to myself, I won't do that. But if you look at the last slide, it's a step to credible meals and snacks. So number 1, making sure that all the required components for that meal or snack is all available. Okay. Number 2, that you have the correct servings of all the components that you have available to be served to the kids. Number 3, that the meals that you're serving are not only nutritious, but also has variety. the focus of the program with these kids at this age, it is critical that their bodies have access to variety of food to get different minerals and resources and source of energy and mineral for their bodies as they are growing. Step number 4 is making sure that the children that you are feeding are actually present during the meals that you claim and served, because you can have these great meals and you can have all the report, but if the kids are not there to eat, if the monitors come out there to do an unannounced meal and there's no outside daycare kids, just your kids, that's just what you do with your kids. It's not a daycare. So then they would have to come back again unannounced until they see outside kids with a meal. Okay, so I hope that makes sense and clear up the whole unannounced meal that we're required to see once a year. Step number 5, meal and attendance record are done correctly and daily. So please don't get to a point where our monitor has to disallow all the meals because you don't have your records. If you need help, we have many ways we can teach you depending on your situation, so you can be successful in doing, your records daily. If you have your smartphone, get on it right there during, while the kids are eating, it's done. If you want to have a little alternate record posted on the fridge so you can, mark off who was there, who was served at every meal, what was served to them, what time they came, what time they left. You have your in and out, your menu, your alternate record. That's an alternate record right there that you can use at the end of the month if you don't have the ability to log your claim or the time to log your daily records daily. If I come there and online is not updated, you don't have any alternate record, you leave no choice for the monitor but to disallow those meals. We have to, okay? But I think that's all the training. Usually we have training for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I didn't want you to watch me for that long, like I said. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and then you will now have to complete the quiz. If you do it online, you'll get the link emailed to you, complete it, and send it, and we'll receive the result and go through it to make sure that you passed it. Passing it means that you had actually watched the video and pay attention and go through and you understand what we were trying to train everybody on. If you don't pass it, we'll have to have you retake it. For those of you who don't have access to online quiz, we've attached the paper copy of it on paper in your packet, so you can just complete it, take a picture of both sides and send it to us or mail it to us, whichever is the easiest. Okay, so thank you for listening and have a great day. Thanks.